Still stay with the NPP primaries, upcoming primaries, because that's our next issue. The Member of Parliament for the Asenso Central constituency, Ken Agyapong, he's launched a scathing attack on the incumbent Member of Parliament for the Bantama constituency. That's Francis Asenso Boakye. He is the sitting Member of Parliament and also the Minister for Works and Housing. Before that appointment, he was a deputy chief of staff at the office of the president. Now, this is what Ken Agyapong said in the viral video, which obviously we don't claim ownership of or its content, but take a look.
When we are on housing, and we are deputy chief of staff, I just break $20,000. Who is your papa? I said, no, can you know? Who could be said for Brasanti? I don't have. Mommy son, say Chinese, if one or demanded 20,000, and normally that I stopped it. Some of my career, me kind of MPP for Kokose, more good than I could find when you must say, more Jubilee House, I was referring to Asenso today. I'm telling you, I was referring to Asenso. You should be ashamed of yourself to go and vote for a corrupt MP like Asenso again. I'm telling you, I don't miss words. I don't care how you feel. That is the gospel truth, because Ghana first. Now we get to me, cousin, and Ken Agyapong the young couples. Who we didn't know where you are, not new work. What a pavilion, the pavilion. Mimi African market. I want to do manager. But in the manager and what custom. And what quiet, you are not. And then, as I say, they are here. Wow. Moya mistake. Now, 2 months. Who revelations of the paper? Yes, I'm telling you, it's a condition. If you don't want me to talk, vote against him. If you want me to talk, vote for him. And I challenge all of you, because your mama said Ghana. You need baby apple. You need baby apple. We are not, and I'm telling you, we're not going to eliminate corrupt.
So that's Ken Agyapong there. Very, in fact, typical of him. This is the one frontal approach, even though we do not own the contents or the opinion espoused in this as a station. But the video, as it's gone viral, is what we're playing to you. Now, for you, let me start off with you, Haruna. This is what he said. If you make a mistake, vote for Asenso Boakye, you will bear witness to the revelations I will unveil. It is a condition. If you don't want him to talk, vote against him. If you want him to talk, vote him, because we will not allow you, that's them, to destroy MP, that's Ghana. That's what he's saying. We will not allow you to destroy Ghana. You have seen this video and the conditions that he has given to you as a party. Is the party losing any sleep on this?
Thank you very much. I must make this official complaint on this particular topic. This was not part of the topics that we're supposed to discuss here.
Oh, it was communicated that
yes,
it was.
We had 3 topics that is communicated to me, and
okay.
I have not been given notice of a discussion on content that has been discussed or issued out or commented on by Ken Agyapong. And the lawyers will say that I've been taken by surprise.
I've got to be honest, because this is the communication that's went to everybody. So
yes,
it's not.
In fact, yes. I already received a flyer that talks about.
This what was sent to you. It's what was sent to everybody, not what is on the flyer.
But this is what is sent to me.
I just want to make that clarification.
Yes, but I did not receive the everybody one. I received the flyer. That gives me 3 topics for discussion. And I want to put it on record.
All right.
Yes.
No, but maybe just to be able to help them. See, two issues, no, two separate sets of topics were sent. The first one was, you had elaborate one, and then the second one is just
I didn't have the elaborate one.
I think that
So I think that basically what he wants to say, which of course I agree with him, is that let us always have a finalized, set of issues that he would, so that you are not. You don't have two sets and then to bring about some of these things.
Thank you very much. Having made that point, I've listened to the video and the content. This is something that we are just hearing for the first time.
You are just saying this for the first time?
Yes, I saw it for the first time on the screen as you played. I believe it's supposed to be a campaign platform that he has decided to engage himself in the Bantama constituency. I think that the question you put to me is in regards to whether the party is losing grips of, or he has issued, I don't think he has issued any statement against us. He's speaking to the delegates of the party, specific constituency. If indeed he has something that he wants to talk about, I think he knows the right platform to make it to the party. However, the party is very sound on the ground. We are very confident that the party will be able to take whatever decision that we think that it is contrary to the rules of the game. And if a complaint is given to us in regards to what he said, I think that the party is going to deal with that. With regards to the content, I don't want to comment further on some of the contents that he's saying because I cannot verify the threat that is being issued to Asenso Boakye. And as a party, representing the party here, any other commentary that will be made will be in reference to the fact that I have a full knowledge of what has been said. And I want to reserve my comment on this particular matter.
I see. Normally when some of these comments are made, you would have some communication or a statement from the party on this. And this has been in the public domain for the past, 48 hours. There hasn't been any official, as it were, statement or communication from the party on this matter. Is it that we should expect it, or you intend to rather take a position of ignorance?
When such statements or such things come, I have indicated to you that this is my first time. I'm just hearing this or seeing this on the screen as I sit here. And remember, I'm Deputy General Secretary of the party. There is somebody who is the General Secretary. Today happens to be a weekend. As we speak, my boss is on his way to a funeral in Kumasi. If this matter has been brought to our attention earlier, or me listening and seeing what is happening here, will be made reference to the General Secretary. And I believe if there is any commentary that is supposed to be made, will be coming from the General Secretary. And remember, I did say that we'll be having a meeting of National Executive Committee on the 17th. If it is a matter to be discussed, then the General Secretary will bring it before the committee.
Which is just some 4 days away?
Yes, please.
Okay, so if it's a matter of concern to you, we'll hear from the party. But beyond this being a statement that has been made, Ken Agyapong is one person who is not new to such statements. In the past, he's talked about allegations of government officials allegedly stealing money and stashing it outside and so on. The concern that others have had is that when he makes a statement, nothing happens. We only would use it for the political communication and reference, but no state agency takes this up to even investigate, as it were, to separate the wheat from the chaff and know exactly the veracity or otherwise of the statements that he makes. Does that concern you?
Yes, we should be. We should be. It's a salient point you're raising. Meaning that upon his statements, he should be asked to provide evidence so that prosecutions may go on. Yes. Now, the reason a number of them would not be interested is that, as you work, you go closer to this our governance architecture, you find that some of the institutions see that if they go too much on government appointees, etc., this government will collapse in no time. Yeah. So that's how come Agyapong knows what he's talking. And threat that he will reveal more secrets. I've heard some privately. Yeah, let's put it. I will not mention here. But I've heard he's holding secrets on the guy. I've heard some privately. Don't joke. He means it. Oh, some. Charlie. So the point is that the reason they will invite him.
Lawyer.
Yes. I'll tell you offset. So that
You have to pay for it.
Yes, the reason. Oh, I'll tell you. It's not once it's private. I'll tell you once we are offset. The reason they won't do is that it will bring down this government. He holds a lot. So that's a simple reason. Yeah, trust me. If they were to take the things that he works closely with them, so he sees. Whether somebody is carrying money out of Ghana and he's caught in the US and they have to take the money from him and he's lost weight. You ask Ken Agyapong, he will tell you. Yeah, there are more stuff.
What are you saying? That somebody is traveling in Ghana?
Somebody was traveling out and then they caught him with money.
But is this
and
not...
the person lost weight?
He's lost weight. He's thinking. So those are some things that Agyapong is talking about.
But
I can
you
tell
see-
you inferentially.
So when statements like this are made, which state institution, in your view, should be concerned enough to want to take this matter up, to investigate?
Your man.
So
this
multiple.
one, he will not act. Your man, I will mention his name. You mention his name.
So obviously,
This one
you're
will be
talking about
quiet.
Issei Jabe. I would say that multiple, because he
choosing his
couldn't deal
battles.
with the Edubuahi matter. When it's a top politician, I would say yes, let the what do you call it? Police service also try. Yes, OSP can start. Police service can also do, because we need, just in case, because we don't know the day there will be clear evidence, and then OSP will say, oh, there's no law. When there's law, like I keep saying, Jantua, and then this man, even, I'll keep reading on the matter. In the case of Republic versus Nkumsa was deputy Speaker of Parliament, right? Yes, the Kwame Nkrumah regime. This same influence peddling, he called the businessman and said, Hagan, the Minister for Trade, will give him some licenses, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, Nkumsa was prosecuted using the corruption laws, because you're saying you are going to get somebody to do X, Y, Z to issue licenses. And it turned out that the procedure, everything was wrong. Nkumsa was prosecuted under general corruption law. They didn't have to use the influence peddling law, the 252. But this man, Jantua was convicted under 252, influence peddling, straight. So my point is that, look, we can let, what do you call it, OSP try. We can also put in let the police service also try. Because you see, this President Trump, when he came to office, the collusion, the electoral fraud. In America, at least 17 institutions investigated it. Just like right now, this SML deal, you see, Finance Committee of Parliament is seized with it, OSP is seized with it, Shraj is also looking at an aspect. Yeah, let it continue, because we will need that. So, but the question is that who will do so, like you're saying? Are we saying that right now that we've mentioned it, OSP will be interested? Because under the OSP law, if they hear this online like this, yes, they are under the law to prevent corruption, the mandate of the OSP, as part of its mandate, yeah, it can go straight into it, that the people are agitating about this particular matter. OSP can go into it. The police service, Dampare, can also show some teeth that he can also deal with these matters. And then let's see how that can. Of course, I know when you say generally the police should also come in, so the question then will be that because the corruption aspect should be such then that OSP alone should deal with it. Yes, but that's why we say investigation. So when you investigate and we see that it's only corruption, then they will see to OSP. But from other things, if you find that there are other crimes that the police can deal with, then the police will do. But at least we can get a report on the investigations, and that would be good. So the fact that an organization starts investigation does not mean that automatically that institution, let's say police service, will try to go to court. No, but it will help us that we have the investigations, and then it will help. If it turns out it's fully corruption, that one, then OSP alone will go for it. But if there are other crimes, then the police can also handle. And in any event, the OSP law says that OSP can collaborate with other institutions. So let's go into it. Because he knows what he's saying. You know, like you said, he had said it earlier on that these people are stealing our money and stashing it abroad like there is no tomorrow. Yeah, I always knew. He's close. He knows what he's talking about.
Okay. So talk about investigation, and let me bring Bob Bunsen. I'll come to you, Professor. Yes. So, Bob, on the issue of investigation, Lawyer Bobby Bunsen, on this one as well, Lawyer Matibebo is talking about certain institutions that can investigate this beyond the statement that Ken Agyapong has made and is making. Which institutions will have to take this up? Quickly.
You know, Alfred, I have a problem when people say these things the way they, not the lawyers, I mean, the politicians, and they say it and they always end by saying for God and country. I don't think that their modus or perhaps intention is right. I think they don't say it for God and country. I think they do it for their own personal political motives. See, if you say that you know this person has done A, B, C, why do you go and say it on a political platform and say that, okay, I have said it? The state institutions that are mandated to investigate should go ahead and investigate. And yet when they invite them to bring evidence, they don't show up. And they come and tell us that they don't trust the institutions. And so they'll go out there and defame people without providing evidence. And when they are invited, we've seen many times people have said things against people. When they are invited to bring evidence, they say, oh, I won't bring it, either because I don't trust the institutions. This is somebody who even accused another person of murder in the past, and yet will not provide evidence to the appropriate state institutions. And so I'm beginning to think whether or not there is actually another intention behind some of these things that they say. It may be true, but the laws that we have in this country has provided the means by which such allegations ought to be made, and to who? Yes, the OSP has the mandate to commence investigations into matters based on media reports. But if you ask the OSP to start investigating this matter, and he calls the person who makes the allegation, and the person says that, well, I will not bring it, the OSP, I think his hands will be tied. It said that he can subpoena, he can do whatever, but if he doesn't have the means of having that evidence, then if he subpoenas somebody who is not ready to talk, you can subpoena the person to speak. But if the person gets there and says, well, I'm exercising my constitutional right to remain silent, the court cannot put words in the mouth of a witness or even a complainant or an accused person. Neither can the police invite the person who made such allegations and say that, okay, we heard you said on radio, so and so and so, provide us with that evidence so we commence investigation. Investigations must start from something. So if you don't have any lead at all, what are you investigating? If you invite the, I don't want to say accused person because they are not yet accused person. If you invite the alleged offender, or let me say the suspect, and he comes to say, well, under criminal law, it is the responsibility of the state to provide evidence. So whatever question you ask me, I will not answer. I'm keeping silent. Where do they go from there? If you invite the person who makes the accusation, and he says that, well, I don't want to talk, sorry, I didn't know what I was saying, so I've decided not to say, where do they go from there? So if people claim that they have evidence of persons, whether in the same political party, not in the same political party, committing a crime, I think that they should do the right thing. Otherwise, they will just be, for lack of a better word, should I say propagandists, or people who are just saying things for political expediency and for political purposes. And I think it will not augur well for the growth of these institutions that we have set up, or for the accountability regime that we are all asking for. Because the OSP, the police, the SHRAJ, they cannot act as octopus to go spreading their hands into people's homes to say, well, let me investigate you that you've done this, if they don't have anything to commence the investigations with. And so if people say that they have evidence.
But on that particular point, the OSP in some cases has moved in to investigate issues that, in fact, statements made in the public, so that you can gather a lot more information on corruption and corruption-related offenses. In fact, that's the essence of investigation, is it not? So if you say that, well, it cannot be spreading its legs like octopus and so on, this is not the first time.
I didn't say that they don't have the jurisdiction. I stated that they have the mandate to commence investigation based on media reports and things like this. I made that point. But I'm saying that we also know, Alfred, that persons that make such statements in the media or on political platforms or in other platforms, apart from in the office of the state institutions, sometimes when they are invited to provide evidence to support what they said on those fora, they decline. That is what I'm saying. And so if they would make these statements and will refuse to support or assist with the investigations, then what is the essence of making those statements? And so if they go on these platforms and they make those statements, and they will not be ready to walk into the offices of the police or the OSP to assist with investigations, then they should not be misleading us. That is the point that I'm making. So I agree that yes, the OSP would have the jurisdiction to do that, and the police may also decide to take those things up, even with Shraj. But the persons that make these allegations against other persons, for good reason, must be ready to assist. So the state institutions are there, but if you don't assist them, provide the necessary or conclude their investigations, then what have you done? You would wait for another opportunity to begin these things again. That is my only concern.
Well, Lawyer Agyapong, beyond this being used as a condition for the election or otherwise of Ken Agyapong's brother, it goes beyond this. It borders on this fight against corruption we've been talking about. And the condition that he gives is whether or not his brother is, that's Ken Agyapong's brother, is voted. That's where the concern is, and what specifically has to be done in the interest of the country. Because in making his statement, he says it is Ghana first. Where did you tell Maklo?
Barely a week or two ago, in your studio was a gentleman, a senior lawyer, an honorable member of parliament in the name of Apia Kubi. This gentleman openly, in the public space, told us that a businessman had come to parliament to bribe honorable members of parliament in their fights for the removal of the finance minister, having destroyed the economy of this country. The special prosecutor, consistent with his mandate and function, decided to investigate this serious matter of an attempt to bribe our MPs. Now, this lawyer, honorable member of parliament, who openly told us that this businessman had approached him when it became necessary for him to speak to the issue, he ran. He ran away. So, you see, Alfred, the problem we have is usually not the salacious nature of the conversation, but whether people will man up. I recall in the NPP presidential primaries, we were told that appointees of Mr. Akufo-Addo are looting the public funds like there's no tomorrow. In that conversation, we were told that the money, they are taking it outside. My expectation is that if you still keep the money here, build industries, employ young people, but they are stealing and creating jobs outside. That's even the wickedness of it. Today, we are being told that when investors, and this one, it was referenced Chinese investors, want to see our president, they pay gate fee. Remember that the same special prosecutor had to investigate, and my senior Martin Pebu always disagrees with the special prosecutor on that finding, where there was a video recording of an appointee of Mr. Akufo-Addo who had given clear indication, having received $40,000 or so, that there were some projects, if you needed to do it, you needed to pay our vice president, now NPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Obamia, $200,000 appearance fee. Ultimately, the special prosecutor came back and said, yes, he was peddling influence and that he could not. A position I disagree with the OSP. So today, we have heard another one. This time around, it's about Chinese businessmen having to pay $20,000 in order to see the president. And each of these stories are persons around Mr. Akufo. The worry I have is that, and I pray, is that the Honorable Ken Agyapong should not end it here. In fact, there's actually another video where the same MP, within the same Bantama conversation, said that the official residence of the late Supreme Court judge, Justice Mafosa, has basically been sold to a private person, and specifically names this same Asenso. What is it with Asenso? What at all is it with him? How come that he's not living like Caesar's wife? How come that each of these allegations of corruption, one way or the other, comes back to Asenso?
Is that not the reason why we should even be investigating this matter beyond what Ken Agyapong has said?
You listen to me. And this is a bosom friend. Remember that Mr. Akufo-Addo specifically went to Bantama to campaign for Asenso in these NPP primaries.
That's not true. He has not been there. We opened nominations on the just few weeks ago. We closed nomination. We have done vetting. Akufo-Addo has not been to Vantama. He has not campaigned for Asenso Boakye.
Okay, so so before nominations were open.
You see,
so it's not a campaign. You know it. Political parties. We had even issued a national council directive that no campaigning should be done at places that there are sitting members.
Okay, so it was before the nominations were open.
I can't confirm whether he campaigned, but within the campaign period, Akufo-Addo has not done anything.
But before the nominations were opened, the president was there. In fact, called Francis Asenso Boakye.
Why are you?
Yes,
so
maybe
he went on his official duty, but to say Akufo-Addo went to do campaign as a national officer of the party, I have to bring clarity on that matter.
So you are saying that he did, but not after the nomination?
I did not even confirm he did. Akufo-Addo has the right to do administrative duties across the country. He has not.
And to campaign for his preferred
He has not
person.
done any campaign per the timelines of campaign of the National Party has issued out.
You are being dishonest. Akufo-Addo went to Bantama in opening a library project and openly campaigned for Asenso. How will you use this platform?
Okay, this specific.
Alfred,
yes,
so let me go to the specific. So, so the point I am making is that the special prosecutor himself has the mandate to do this investigation. But the challenge is, what becomes the outcome of the investigation? Criminal prosecution. Now, if the persons who make these allegations, immediately after they make these allegations, they begin to have a Damascus moment where they are unable to speak of their previous past again, it becomes difficult for the purposes of criminal prosecution. And that is a worrying thing. You saw Apiakubi, now we are seeing with respect of the Honorable Ken Agyapong. And he makes quite some very serious claims. The specific case of the late Supreme Court judge, Justice Mafosa's official residence, and if you know the place, where the enclave, the judge's residence enclave, among other things, right? And this is a matter that calls for public conversation. It should not be the matter for the public prosecutor. In fact, my senior Martin Kwebe, I think Article 36, which enjoins every Ghanaian to help in the protection of public property against misuse.
As Article 41.
Good. Against misuse of public property. Ghanaians should go and find out what is the current state of the official residence of that retired Supreme Court judge. Has it been given to a public or a private person? If so, under what circumstance did this property belonging to the Judicial Service of Ghana suddenly became a private property? We should not leave the conversation to the special prosecutor alone. Citizens of this republic can take it upon themselves to make this legitimate inquiry. The Occupy Ghanaians, the One Ghana movement, the anti-corruption institutions, so that if it comes out that the property that belongs to the judicial service of this country, a property that belongs to the state, has been given to a private individual, which you find out who, in public service, gave this property belonging to the judicial service, belonging to the Republic of Ghana, to this private person. Then we can enrich the conversation. So as citizens, we should even go beyond. So possibly what Ken Agyapong has done is to provide us a lead. Like a criminal investigator, you go to a murder scene, you see a knife with blood on it.
So who should be acting on this lead? This lead.
You don't go home and say, oh, when I came there, I saw only a knife. No. Serious investigator can take the knife, check the fingerprints, check a national database of fingerprints. And if there is a match, it provides a lead.
Okay.
That is what you do. So we should enrich the conversation beyond the NPP internal matters and see whether, in fact, these conversations or these claims, there is any legitimate basis to it. We are equally worried about the pervasive corruption, the corruption that has broken loose, broken out of jail, currently going on under the Akufo-Addo administration. It is worrying. It undermines the democracy that we are currently
that video that you talk about, Edujita Maklo, that specific reference to President Akufo-Addo and that pronouncement about Francis Asenso Boakye. This was on the 15th of November, 2023. So that's why, Aruna, you talk about the period of campaigning, but there was a statement that was made. But take a look at this. This is the video.
Ghana, maybe I'm free, you're here. So somewhere, you're here. They here, and in the war, Kumamu.
Here in Ghana, where you come from, nor your religious belief is not necessary. What is more important is what you are capable of when handed a leadership position. No one should allow himself to be deceived when voting. I will be very sad if the people of Bantama do not retain Asenso as their member of parliament. He should be allowed to continue to finish what he has started.
Oh, so that's the video you have there.
Was it not campaigning? Yes. Was it not campaigning for the gentleman?
This is not campaign. Akufo-Addo made a statement for Asenso Boakye. He made a statement for him.
Well,
but the period of, you said campaigning. In the period of campaigning, Akufo-Addo has not been to Bantama to campaign for Asenso Boakye. But he made a statement in November. We opened nominations on December 20th.
So
obviously,
the jury is out there on this matter.
And if you were to be in my shoe, you will be speaking the same way.
For example.
But this is not about, we cannot reduce Ghana to this level where people speak from their shoes. And I mean, you know that campaign in Ghana starts immediately elections are over.
No, but Prof, we issued a statement to ban campaign.
Well,
so
but
it was a statement by him.
Well,
but
let's talk what is really happening on the ground, and let's not be talking about theory. I mean, we know that for us as a people, campaign is almost an activity in perpetuity. It doesn't, every now and then people are campaigning. So we cannot completely say that the president didn't campaign for Asenso Boakye. Let's put that aside. But the point is, Alfred, you know, me, I hate nonsense. And I have intolerance for nonsense. And so because of that, I have much respect for people like Ken Agyapong. A lot of respect for him. How he would brazenly speak to expose certain things. I mean, for me, it appeals to me. I do not see why, if there are rots in society, we should not be exposing them. And so when I see people like him talk, I have a lot of respect, you know, I've admired him for many years. But it appears that my admiration for him now may be going down because I am not too happy with the way and manner or the path that he is choosing. When I heard him speak, the question I asked myself was, why is Ken Agyapong doing what he's doing? Why is he doing this? Is it because he's truly interested in helping Ghana fight corruption? Or it is just because his brother is contesting an election? I mean, I believe that the fight against corruption must be driven by fairness, objectivity, and selflessness.
Indeed.
It should not be driven by who we like or who we don't like. It doesn't make sense to me. Just because it is your brother contesting, you want to expose things. So if your brother wasn't contesting, you would have kept those things to yourself. I mean, what are we doing to ourselves as a nation? If it is wrong, it is wrong. If it must be exposed, it must be exposed. So, Mr. Ken Agyapong, with the greatest of respect to you, you do a lot of disservice to your own self in your quest to be seen as a fighter for the people, and your quest to be seen as a crusader against corruption. If you decide to be choosy and picky about which cases to report and which cases to keep to your chest. I know that the Ghans have a proverb that anukwaleni drama awie. But in the fight against corruption,
wait.
Anukwaleni drama awie.
So the truth that will break a nation,
you keep it to yourself. That's a Ghana proverb. And but I do not think that in a fight against corruption, we should shroud certain things in opacity. You cannot arrogate to yourself the right to say that I want to fight corruption, but as for certain corrupt cases, I'll keep it to myself and I would expose them. When voters decide to vote a certain way in a manner that does not support my preference or the preference of my brother, it is absolutely wrong. You don't go threatening voters and stampeding them by saying that I have this against this guy. If you vote for him, I will say it. If you don't vote for him, I'll keep. Then it means we have lost it. Mr. Ken Agyapong, we admire you. I have a lot of respect for you. But I think that the tangent and the angle you are going in your quest to be seen as an anti-corruption crusader is wrong. If what you have is wrong and when exposed would help corrupt, will help correct the rot in the system, expose it so that we can see that for you, you stand for what is right. If it is wrong within the NPP, you are prepared to fight it. If it is wrong within Ghana or NDC, you are prepared to speak against it. But this picky and choosy is becoming one too many, and with the greatest of respect, you are gaining notoriety for some of these things. As for me, I have every evidence. I have these things, to my chest. I'll say it here, but this one I will not say. It doesn't make you look too good as a serious person fighting corruption. So I have respect for you. Fight it, expose it, but let us do so without prejudice to, or without showing preference for people we like or people we don't like. As for this one, because it is within my party, I will just threaten it, but I will not expose it. And like last week we were here, I was on Zoom, and then we took serious exception to Apia Kubi's posturing that, look, I have had a personal promise to somebody, a businessman, and so because of that, I'm not going to be releasing certain information. And we all took issues with that. And so I'm saying that the fight against corruption by credible people like Ken Agyapong, the fight against corruption by very far brand confident and fearless people like Ken Agyapong would amount to romancing a stone if we allow him to keep determining which corruption cases he would expose and which one he would choose to keep to his chest. So, Ken Agyapong, it's up to you. Like I said, a lot of Ghanaians look up to you. We have a lot of respect for you. Don't go threatening people that if you vote for him, I will expose. If you vote for my brother, I'll keep it to my chest. What kind of campaign? It's a very bogus campaign. It means there is no message. If your brother has a message, let the campaign be fought on grounds of message. If your brother has a message, let him articulate the message and let the voters decide. But this is threats. You cannot issue threats like that.
Corruption, integrity is number one.
No, but I'm saying that. I'm saying that. I am saying that if you want people to vote, you don't go telling them that if you vote against my brother, I will expose corruption. If you vote for my brother, then I'll keep it to myself. Then you are not fighting corruption. What he said was, if you don't take care and you vote against my brother, I would expose certain things. So if they vote for his brother, those things will be kept. Then what becomes of our resolve to fight corruption? So it is not good for Ghana, and we should take serious issues with those who decide to choose and pick which cases of corruption they want to report and which one they want to keep to themselves. So you, Martin Kpebu, you said you have heard some, and you tell me privately. Why are you also not talking about it publicly? Martin, no. Why are you not talking about those?
Because I'm looking for the looking for the paper evidence.
But these things do not help. We know it becomes gossip and political talks, behind the scene. We know this one is doing this.
Accra FM even has
but anyway.
I am saying that the campaign strategy Ken Agyapong has decided to go, to resort to, for me, it's not good for Ghana. Okay, if there is corruption, if Asenso Boakye has been involved in any deals that you think are inimical to Ghana's fight against corruption, let these be exposed so that it will serve as deterrent to others. But let us not say that if my brother is contesting and you vote for him, I'll keep all allegations or corrupt cases that I have evidence about to myself. But if you vote against my brother, then I'll expose it. It means that you are only being propagandistic in your quest to fight against corruption. And it is not helpful for Ghana. And it's not also helpful for his own image. So, with the greatest of respect to you, Mr. Ken Agyapong, once again, be fair, be level-headed, go all out as you have always done. I know you don't fear anybody, just like myself. I also don't fear anybody. Go out there to say the truth. Don't keep things to your chest and go about stampeding people. Otherwise, then you become like the very Anas and the people you are fighting against, or you are always saying that they stampede, or they do what? What's the word? They what?
Debate.
Not debate, but they blackmail. It's like you are not blackmailing people. If you don't do, you are blackmailing the voters. If you don't do this, I would expose. Or if you won't vote for my brother, I will expose. If you vote for my brother, I'll keep it to myself. I think it doesn't help.
Okay. Professor Asenso Boakye, thank you very much. Now, right after this quick break, we get into this conversation of VAT on electricity, 15%. What is the justification for this, really? Especially at a time when we are all talking about the challenges that our power sector is faced with. We'll be back shortly. Ken Boakye is Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, is joining us. Bobby Ban saying thank you for joining us. Appreciate it, as always. We'll be back shortly after this quick break. Stay with us.